Before we get started, guys, I just want to say that Stephan as a whole, I love his content. I love this video. And as far as his Tesla content goes, he gets a lot of the information correct. Like for a non-Tesla YouTuber, he's pretty smart about it. There's some other YouTubers out there who will just buy a Tesla and make a video, and I cringe about some of the stuff they say just because it's incorrect and they didn't do their research. This video, like, all of the information is correct, but I think it would just be fun to kind of react to it, give my thoughts and opinions. So guys, Stephan released a video yesterday titled "Everything Wrong with Tesla Full Self-Driving." And I'll be honest with you, I've already watched it because in the past I've tried to react to videos and like, it's just 20 minutes of me staring at a screen and you can't get any reaction out of me. But this video, I think I can comment on quite a bit. There's a lot of interesting tidbits that go out through it. So just keep in mind, as I'm commenting, I already know what has happened in the whole video. So yeah, don't think I'm like psychic or trying to scam you or anything like that. So let's just get started.
What's up, you guys? It's Graham here. So as some of you know, last year I bought a Tesla Model 3, and in typical...
So I'm gonna be that guy. Let's pause already right now. So this is kind of a clue about what's gonna happen. So when he posted this video, when he got his Tesla Model 3 last year, April 2019, he got it without hardware 3. So he's reviewing Tesla Full Self-Driving, but Tesla Full Self-Driving requires hardware 3 to get all of the features. Now this wasn't the case a few months ago, but it's finally starting to get some features along the way. I'll kind of comment on all of that as we go, but just interesting enough to point out.
Me fashion. I tried to be as frugal as possible to get the car's price down as much as I could by skimping on all of the options. I decided to pick the base model with the shorter distance because it was cheaper. I got the car in the standard...
I'm really gonna pause on everything, aren't I? So just something for you guys to consider. If you're looking for a Tesla Model 3, I originally ordered the Model 3 Performance, got cold feet, canceled it, and then went and ordered the SR Plus version. Then I canceled that and changed to just the normal long range version. If you're considering buying a Tesla, I would try to get the longest range that your budget can afford because you're never going to regret having more range. That means leaving your car unplugged longer. That means driving farther without charging. It really is super beneficial. And if you're kind of thinking about, should I get the longer range or should I get full self-driving? Always get the longer range because you can add full self-driving later. If you want to add longer range after the fact, you have to trade in your vehicle and then you're gonna take a depreciation hit right there. So that's just my comment on that.
Black paint job because it didn't cost extra. I got the black interior because that came included at no extra cost. And I skipped one of the options that most people tout as the revolutionary feature of Tesla, and that would be the full self-driving option. Now, at the time I bought the car, this was a $5,000...
41 seconds in, I keep pausing. So this was an interesting point. When he bought his Tesla, full self-driving was cheaper if you bought it before you got your car delivered. So right here, if you spent $5,000, you could get Tesla full self-driving, but after the fact, if you wanted it, it was $7,000. Soon later though, Tesla kind of removed that benefit. So right now in September 2020, if you want to order a brand new Tesla, full self-driving is $8,000 no matter if you get it now or later. So in a way that's good, you're not really forced into buying it. But if he would have just spent the money last year, he would have saved $3,000.
This was a $5,000 upgrade that allowed it to fully navigate highways, lane change on your behalf, auto park, and a myriad of other features that were only limited to those who had $5,000 to shell out to Elon Musk. Back then I thought to myself, nah, I don't need all those extra features. The basic autopilot that just stays in its lane is way good enough for me. And for $5,000, I would just rather invest that money back into Tesla stock and I could park my own car.
He's right there. So I made one of my last videos was about what happens if I invested money into Tesla instead of buying full self-driving. And last year when I bought my full self-driving, it was $6,000. If I would have invested that same amount of money, it'd be worth like, what was it, like 40 grand? So he's right there. Like, listen to him. Tesla stock has traditionally increased in value way higher than full self-driving has.
And navigate my own highways. Well, then this happened. Tesla began ramping up the price of their autopilot feature from $5,000 to $6,000 to $7,000 to now $8,000. They promised that one day soon this feature will allow the car to fully navigate city streets, pick you up wherever you are, and even turn itself into a robot taxi that could earn its owners up to $30,000 a year, perhaps in a not so distant future. So of course I reached out to Tesla to see if they offer a free trial option so I could try this out myself before buying it. And the answer is no for anyone.
So this is kind of interesting. He reached out to Tesla for a free trial. They used to offer like stuff like that. Today though, this is like off the book. You didn't hear it from me. If you buy any type of software product from Tesla, like through your app, you can get a refund within, I believe, 48 hours. So there was actually a guy on Twitter that accidentally purchased an upgrade with his butt. And everybody was a little upset that there's no way to refund it, no easy way. But right now, September 2020, if you buy any type of software upgrade, where if it's full self-driving or the speed boost for the all-wheel drive model, you can request a refund and it seems to be no problem at all. You just can't keep doing it. You know, you're limited on how many times. I think after one refund, you're done. So if you buy full self-driving, do a trip, refund it, and expect to do it again, they won't let you. So you can't scam.
Before buying it. And the answer is no, for anyone wondering. And I took that as a sign that, you know what, it's not meant to be, I'm not gonna go and buy it. That's when all of a sudden the almighty Elon Musk blessed thy Tesla stock and caused it to skyrocket in value. So I figured as a token of my appreciation.
It's kind of awkward if he bought full self-driving when Tesla was near $500, and now right now, what is it at? Like not even 400. So hopefully he sold a few of his shares and secured some profits if that's the case. Never feel bad about selling Tesla shares for profit. Do not let people tell you that you need to hold on to them forever, because that's like one of the most toxic things about the Tesla community. They just like want you to spend all of your money on Tesla, and like if Tesla stock goes down, buy more shares. If it goes up, buy more shares. Hold, hold, hold. Never sell. Like, do not listen to those people. Like, we all have financial goals. We all have a life. We all have bills to pay. So never feel bad by securing profits. So I hope he secured some profits at 500 to buy his full self-driving, but he's got millions of dollars, so I ain't worried about it either way.
In my appreciation for Tesla stock, I may as well just go and give some of that back to Elon Musk, and I'll be able to show you what the $8,000 full self-driving feature really gets you, so you're not going to have to spend $8,000 like I did. Or maybe you will if it's worth it. I don't know. I did not plan this video out ahead of time, so I genuinely don't know what's going to happen. So with that said, if you wouldn't mind just gently destroying the like button for the YouTube algorithm, because this video cost me
Can you like my video too?
$8,000 to make, it would be greatly appreciated. Plus, if you like this video, I'm going to be showing you a cute picture of a sloth right here. So first, we got to go ahead and buy the autopilot feature. But one thing
Can we comment? My laptop is just as dirty. I admit, my laptop has a lot of fingerprints on the back, but my laptop does not take up 33% of the screen. Graham, clean your laptop, please.
noticed is that here in California, you're charged $760 in sales tax in addition to the full price of autopilot. Obviously, I'm not the only one who is shocked by this, because everyone else in the Tesla forums is just as perplexed as I am, because in most states, digital products...
Yeah, when I spent $6,000 on my full self-driving, I also paid taxes. I really don't know the reason why you have to pay taxes on a software product. Maybe because it's actually resulting in real world, like, physical features. Like, you're buying software, but now your Tesla can change lanes automatically. Like, in a way, that's kind of a physical product, right? I'm probably grasping at straws. Oh well. Hopefully, Tesla is using our tax money and giving it to the proper authorities and not just pocketing it.
A physical delivery of an item, but nope, not this one. And this is not just a California thing either. If your state has sales tax, that sales tax is added on to the cost of this. But I trust that Tesla has looked into this already and knows their sales tax laws way better than some random guy on YouTube. So let's go ahead and we're gonna buy it. We're gonna buy it right now, and $8,760 later.
It's gone. It's all gone.
All right, wow, so for $8,000, here's what it should do. The first thing we should try out is the auto lane change, which assists in moving to an adjacent lane on the highway when auto steer is engaged. Or in other words, the car is going to lane change for you without you doing much work. So let's give that a shot and see just how worth $8,000 that is. Autopilot.
Okay, I want to point this out. This is kind of where I thought something was up. I'm like, did he really buy this full self-driving upgrade? Because his menu looks nothing like mine. If I pull up my menu, it has so many more options than his. Like even the traffic light and stop sign control, that came out a while ago, so he should have that. The green traffic light chime literally just came out, so I wouldn't blame him there if his car didn't show that. But the conspiracy is canceled. He did buy full self-driving. He's not scamming us. So what happened, he bought the full self-driving for $8,000, but he has the hardware 2.5 in his car, not the hardware 3. And the hardware 3 used to do nothing extra, but now slowly over time, we're getting more updates. So like the stop sign and stoplight recognition, that's from hardware 3. The traffic light chime, that's from hardware 3. So slowly over time, like full self-driving is going to be more worth it, and also having hardware 3 is going to be more worth it.
Navigate on autopilot, that's just a yes. Summon beta, we'll turn that on as well, that's a yes. All right, so we got auto steer engaged. Let's see if it lane changes. Whoa! It did it! Overall, I admit it's a cool feature to have, but let's be honest, I would rather just do it myself and save the $8,000. And maybe I'm just new to
So actually auto lane change was one of the big reasons why I wanted to buy full self-driving. If you've driven a Tesla with autopilot only, changing lanes is such a jarring experience because for the most part, your car is just going on the highway, you're cruising, like everything's good, but as soon as you have to change lanes, it's like your experience is ruined. You have to take over, you have to touch the wheel. And yeah, like for $8,000, you could do it yourself. But just the fact that you can flick the blinker and it changes the lanes for you and it actually does it really good is worth it to me. Like, no regrets. I use that feature more than any of the full self-driving features.
I'd rather just do it myself and save the $8,000. And maybe I'm just new to this whole autopilot full self-driving thing, but when you're in traffic surrounded by a whole bunch of other cars, the lane change assist feature is not as intuitive or smooth as you would expect it to be. Oh yikes, I'm getting antsy here. Like when you're in traffic with the blinker turned on, there needs to be a fair space next to you for the car to actually want to change lanes over, otherwise you're just sitting in there with the blinker turned on. It doesn't know what it wants to do right now. Now it's freaking out. Let's not crash into this. Oh, look at that car. Like at least in Los Angeles, sometimes you just gotta nudge your way.
These are all valid concerns, honestly.
Take your own spot, otherwise you're not getting in. But I expect that will probably improve over time, as will the price. Besides that, the next feature is called the Navigate on Autopilot. Wait for it. Beta. Actively guides your car from a highway's on-ramp to off-ramp, including suggesting lane changes, navigating interchanges, automatically engaging the turn signal, and taking the correct exit. Which just right there does way more than the average driver here in Los Angeles. See, what I have right now is basically just the normal autopilot feature that allows you to essentially cruise control in the same lane, and your car will adjust and make turns within the lines as it sees fit, but that's it. It's really nothing crazy. With this though, it should be able to figure out how to enter and exit different highways and navigate the maze that is California's highways. So we're going to be testing this out firsthand, starting with the 10 freeway in Santa Monica and then navigating over to the 405 freeway in Westwood. Wish us luck. So all we got to do is navigate on autopilot. Or is that on? Which one is on?
Blue is on.
All right, let's see if it's going to change the lane, change the lane. Oh, and it changed the lane. Car did it itself. I didn't do that. I did not do that. Wow.
For $8,000, it better do it
itself. You saw me. I didn't touch a single thing. It put the turn signal on by itself. That is what $8,000 just paid for. Be a little lazy now. Now, I'll be honest, navigating the highway like this is really cool, but would I pay $8,000 for it? And the answer is Probably not. I think it's a really useful feature in the grand scheme of things, especially as full self-driving and autonomy actually become a thing. But as it stands right now, even though it's kind of cool and fun to use, I would rather just save the money. Next, we have the auto park, which automatically parallel or perpendicular parks the car with a single touch. Now, obviously not to brag or anything like that, but parallel parking this car is extremely easy, especially with all the sensors around it, not to mention this giant camera screen right in front of you. But let's give it a shot and test it out.
So one thing I noticed, which is a good thing, I guess, for Tesla's case, he only tested parallel parking, which from what I have seen is way better. If you ever have your Tesla do perpendicular parking, you know, like you go to a grocery store and tell it to park, that process can be horrible. When you're in a busy parking lot and Tesla already isn't very good at auto parking, it can be crazy. Graham's right, like the parallel parking is not a special feature, and I would argue that other car manufacturers probably do a better job. I really would like to see Tesla, when they do like their autopilot rewrite, I want to see them do a better job with auto parking.
Between what I could do and what the car can do. This is a parking spot, and today we're going to be giving it a Tesla self-parking score. So I'm going to be first showing you my parallel parking skills. Just check this out right here. There we go. Check that out. Easy. Let's see how close we got to that. So check this out, guys. We got the perfect parallel park right here. We got about 4 inches or so. I would say this was a success. Now let's see what Tesla can do. You know what? I gotta learn how to do it. How do you do this? It wants you to drive by until a P shows up on.
This is one part that can kind of get frustrating, because sometimes I'll want to try to auto park and that little P does not show up. So at that point, you're just better off parking yourself.
On the screen. Why is it not working? Okay, so we got a P showing up on the screen right here, and press the P. It's working. It's moving kind of slow. Wow, look at this.
I'm so nervous of it hitting the curb.
That's pretty cool. Wow. It worked. It worked. That's too cool. Okay, so they left a little bit more space here. It's not as good as mine, but you know what? Wow. The self-parking feature was really cool and precise, but let's be real. A lot of cars are offering this right now, and it's not necessarily unique to Tesla per se. I also find it kind of difficult to recognize that sweet spot where Tesla actually acknowledges that space as a parking spot. So if you're in fast-moving traffic and need time to adjust for it to recognize it as a parking spot, you're gonna have a bad time, and it's not very practical. Now, this one is probably one of the most anticipated features out there that's gathered all the headlines lately, and that would be the summon feature. As they say, it's going to move your car in or out of a tight space using the mobile app or key. And what better place to use this than my super narrow driveway? So let's give this a shot and see if we can get the car to move forward. All right, let's see. And it's working. Look at that. Now let's see if we can get the car to go back in, because I hate having to back this car up here. Let's go reverse. This is worth it just for this, so I'll never have to pull my car back in ever again. Look at this. I think we're good. Now I gotta say, this one is really cool, and I could see how some people get a lot of use from this. Like sometimes I just hate to wedge myself in narrow spots to try to get into the car and then open the door a little amount and hope I fit through. This would be the perfect solution for that. It's also ideal if you're parked in a really tight spot or someone pulls in way too close next to you without leaving you a lot of room to get in and out. Now that of course arises the question, is it worth $8,000? And that just depends on how nimble you are to actually get into your car. Now the next one is something I've always wanted to try, and it's called the Smart Summon. Tesla says your car will navigate more complex environments and parking spaces. Maneuvering around objects is necessary to come find you in a parking lot. But after watching YouTube videos on this, it just seemed...
Oh my gosh, I never commented on anything yet. So Summon is, I think it's pretty cool to use. Like, honestly, the first time you control your car with your phone is a very magical experience. You're both nervous and excited, and at that point you probably want to show everybody you know that feature. It's just kind of mind-blowing. The thing is though, like with my garage, I have plenty of room on the side, so I really don't need to use Summon. My issue is like the clearance on the back, so I have to pull my car very, very, very close to something in my garage, and someone will not get that close. I have to just do it myself. And typically, like what I do, if I get groceries, I have to unload the groceries, then get back in the car and pull it back myself. If someone was even more precise, like where you could go like within 2 inches of something, then that would be great. But currently in its current state, like I can't use summon for my benefit. Side clearance, I would say, would be way more beneficial if you have any of those issues.
Spaces, maneuvering around objects is necessary to come find you in a parking lot. But after watching YouTube videos on this, it just seems rather disappointing and slow. But hey, that's not going to stop me from trying this out myself. So now we're going to be trying the Smart Summon feature, and what we did is I parked in an empty parking lot here that cost us, by the way, $2.50 every 15 minutes. So we got to do this one quick. Parked the car all...
That's crazy. Like, that's the thing about living in like California. Everything is so freaking expensive. When I did my Smart Summon video, I drove to like a closed down elementary school for a few hours and just did it no problem. But I do not doubt like LA is so crazy. Does he live in LA? It's so crazy where like you have to pay to get anywhere. I believe it. Probably because land is like a premium price there. There ain't nothing free. You can't park for free.
There, we're going to use the app to see if we can get the car from down there over here about 150, maybe 200 feet away. Warning, please move closer to your vehicle. We're too far away. We can see the car. It's right over there. It's not that far away, so it wants us to walk a little bit closer. How close do you have to get to your vehicle for this to work?
This is a valid
concern. You may as well just walk to the car at this point. Oh, look! It's going! Look at that! Wow! Look! Look at that!
This is cool to experience. I will not lie. Like, Smart Summon is cool.
Oh, it doesn't know what to do. Is it gonna hit me? The downside, obviously, I want it to be over there and have it go further. The radius here is not that great. I'll be real, I'm disappointed it didn't work on a larger distance. As it is right now, you gotta be somewhat close to the car for this to actually work, and at that point, you may as well just walk the rest of the way to your car and get in like a normal person. Now, I'm sure at some point they gotta expand the radius, and I understand this is just a beta mode for right now. But my only complaint as of today is that I'm not able to do it at a further distance. And lastly, we got this one, traffic and stop.
So one thing I am so excited about is Tesla kind of like mingling all of these features together. So the self-parking feature and Smart Summon going together will be amazing. Because yeah, having your Tesla come pick you up is good, but imagine you are going to the mall, like parking is crazy. You'd have to park like a mile away. You get out of your car, you tell it to go find a parking spot, and it will. Like, I'm not sure how far that is in the future, but that's just where we're going to, and that's really exciting.
Traffic and stop sign control, wait for it, beta. Identifies stop signs and traffic lights and automatically slows your car to a stop on approach with your active supervision. This one is somewhat new, and I haven't really seen a lot of people making videos on this quite yet, so here we go. I'll give
you haven't watched my video?
All, isn't it such an inconvenience that your autopilot can't even tell the difference between a red light and a green light, or a stop sign from a not stop sign? Well, I guess you could say that stops today. Get it? Stops? I'll stop. So we got a red light up here.
You about to learn, you ain't gonna see it with your 2.5.
It seems like when you're an autopilot, wait, is it gonna note? No, it's definitely not gonna recognize that red light. No. All right, bad news, guys, bad news. So I was trying to figure out why this was not showing up, why it wasn't working. And when I went online, it turns out that cars produced prior to like May 2019 came with hardware 2.5 and not hardware 3 that's needed. So what I need to do is get hardware 3, which requires actually make an appointment at Tesla. Then they're going to be putting in the new chip. I would just expect that for $8,000, they would tell you up front that you need a hardware update for some of the features to become available, and that requires you to make a service appointment. Now, I realize this is certainly the epitome of a first world problem, like, boo-hoo, you have to make a service appointment for your Tesla to get the full self-driving feature you paid for. So I'll make the appointment, I'll get back to you, and the biggest reason I'm disappointed is because I can't give you the content I was hoping to give you today. So my only advice here for Tesla is that if they see certain cars have the hardware 2.5 installed,
like I said, when I first started this video and I saw his menu, it kind of like clicked. Like I was like, crap. He doesn't have hardware 3, so this video is gonna look really bad. Like, he's gonna look foolish. He's not gonna cover things, but I really, really, really want to commend him for doing the research and figuring out his problem. Because I've seen some YouTubers, like not Tesla YouTubers, just like normal people that buy Teslas, sometimes they get information incorrect and then they like spew it out to their millions of viewers and it just looks bad. I love that he found out why his traffic light recognition wasn't working. I like that he figured out he needed hardware 3. And I do like that he just added this as part of his experience. Because I will agree, a lot of stuff that's like Tesla related, I have found out from the community, like not Tesla themselves, you know? So like if I was just a normal person buying full self-driving for $8,000, I probably wouldn't know about hardware 3. Like, does the average consumer know about hardware 3? Ask your mom, ask your dad, they probably don't. So I really do like that he took the time to figure all this out and kind of share his personal experience. I don't think it takes away from the video. Like, I think this is an honest experience that could happen to a lot of Tesla owners.
If they see certain cars have the hardware 2.5 installed, at least give those owners a heads up that they're going to need hardware 3 for these features to become fully available. And finally, last but
that's cool. Like, I don't know if they have the ability to do that, but if you're on your phone trying to buy the $8,000 upgrade, it should say, hey, FYI, you don't have hardware 3, so just keep in mind these features will not work until you schedule an appointment. That's a really great suggestion.
We've all been waiting for full city street driving, but they say that's upcoming, and it's been upcoming for quite some time. The reality is the feature we all want, which is full autonomous driving, where I could just get in the car and then let it take me to my destination without me doing a single thing, is probably very, very far away. It's been promised by the end of the year for many years now, with no real time frame as to when it's actually going to become available. But all of us are holding out with the hope that one day soon we could let our cars just drive themselves while we watch YouTube videos and smash like buttons. I also find his business model for the Tesla Autopilot extremely interesting and unlike any other car manufacturer out there. That's because the almighty Elon Musk can control how much money he charges for the Autopilot feature, and therefore he has a direct influence on the resale value of all of his cars. For example, if he chose to raise the Autopilot feature to $15,000 next month, chances are all of the cars which already have the Autopilot feature enabled would go up slightly in value because now it's a more expensive option for anyone else who wants to buy it. Doing this means he could influence the used car market and turn a one-time cost into a business model that continues to grow over time. That's part of the reason I think Tesla is so unique. It's because of their ability to...
So yeah, imagine that somebody buys a used Tesla. A typical situation, say if you go to a dealership, buy a used Chevy from a buy here, pay here lot, like Chevy is not going to get any profit out of that after the fact. Like, they sold their brand new vehicle, they're done. Tesla, on the other hand, someone could buy a used Tesla and then go around and give Tesla $8,000. It's crazy, right? Like, that's a really good business model. Not to mention too, like he said, full self-driving increasing in value over time does kind of help your car depreciate less. Like, Tesla is the only EV that holds their value so well. And the thing is too, like, I think also it attributes that Tesla also gets updates a lot, so the car is always fresh and new, so that keeps the value up. Not to mention that you can never really just buy a Tesla right away if you want a new one. So if you're selling a used Tesla, you can probably get a premium just from the people that want to have the car like now, you know? So when you go to their website, see that it takes a few weeks, that's kind of an advantage for you as a seller if you're selling your Tesla.
Continually reinvent and upgrade their cars over the air. And that means these cars just continue to get better and better and improve over time, and I'm excited to see what's coming next. Now, as for whether or not the $8,000 upgrade was worth it, I'll be honest, as it stands right now, the answer is probably a no. Now, obviously, I understand that $8,000 is just the price you're paying to get in today before full self-driving is a thing, and these cars can just navigate themselves on the streets without you doing a single thing, and maybe at that point, they're gonna cost more like $15,000 to $20,000 extra. But the risk you're taking is, how long is that going to take to happen? Is it going to be next year, 5 years from now, 20 years from now? And what's the opportunity cost going to be to buy into a feature that's not fully functional yet versus just going and investing that money elsewhere? For example, instead of buying autopilot for $5,000 back in 2019, I just used that extra money to go and buy more Tesla stock. And that $5,000 investment alone is now worth today more than $41,000. So I definitely made the right choice back then not to buy autopilot, but what about now? I think in the next few years, if autopilot becomes fully functional, where you could just go and type in an address, sit down in the...
That's another thing to point out, like Tesla has increased in value exponentially, like 1,000, like Tesla stock has increased 1,000% in like the last year, but there's no telling like what Tesla stock's going to do a year from now. So say if you buy full self-driving today for $8,000 and it increases to $10,000, you don't know if Tesla is going to go up or down. Like, we would love to see Tesla continually to go up and up and up, but it's a very volatile stock, and you don't really know what the macroeconomic environment is going to look like. That was a big word for me. But yeah, you just don't know. So full self-driving is guaranteed. Tesla stock really isn't, but I do agree Tesla stock, looking back, was a great investment. And a lot of people would say the same thing.
Car and the car takes you wherever you want to go, then I think it's very, very well worth it. But as it stands right now, I personally don't see this being worth $8,000 besides me just being able to get more content for YouTube. However, I do think it's worth it for the people who plan to hold their car a long time and expect more autopilot features to be added onto this before he raises the price again, and he will. But for anyone else, I would say you're best off just investing the money instead and then waiting this one out until full self-driving is actually a thing. So that's my review of the Tesla autopilot feature, and I understand there's a lot of other Tesla reviews out there, so it means a lot to me, and I really appreciate it that you would come and watch mine. I know reviews, I know these videos might not be the most technical, but I'm a big fan of Tesla. I absolutely love the car, and I'll always do my best to be as honest as possible and tell you practically whether or not this is actually worth it, which for this feature, I just gotta say, it's probably not worth it. If full self-driving is actually a thing, then yes, I think it'll pay for itself many times over, but today, it's just not there. So with that said, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Also, feel free to add me on Instagram. I post it pretty much daily, so if you want to be a part of it there, feel free to add me there. As in my second channel, The Graham Stephan Show, I post there every single day. I'm not posting here.
Okay, I just want to make my remaining thoughts about everything. So I really do appreciate this guy, Graham Stephan. Like, he knows his stuff. For somebody that's not like a dedicated Tesla YouTuber, I'm sure he doesn't live on Twitter. He doesn't live like watching Tesla YouTube videos all the time. He got a lot of his information correct. I love that he knew about Hardware 3. I love that he's just, you know, he realizes that the $8,000 may not be a good investment. But one thing a lot of people fail to realize, and it makes it a very exciting part of being a Tesla owner. Like right now in 2020, a lot of these new updates coming out are going to require Hardware 3. And he mentioned he loves software updates. So having Hardware 3 and full self-driving just allows you to get maximum updates, maximum new features, and just slowly getting to experience those features over time is fun. Like, at the time you spending $8,000, you're not gonna like it. But as the months and months and months go on and you start getting more updates, it's gonna be fun and you're going to regret it less. And yeah, like that $8,000, I would say a big portion of that amount is you're paying for what it could be. You know, like your $8,000 is paying for the possibility of your car driving you anywhere while you're sleeping in the back seat. Like, wouldn't you pay $8,000 for that? That $8,000 is paying for the possibility of your car being robo-taxi and driving people around like you're at work. Like, that is crazy. Your car can work for you as you work, or your car could work for you as you're asleep. You know, like, that's nuts, and I'm willing to pay for that. And I'm willing to support Elon and just give him the money now, because he really does. Like, he may not have the most exact timelines, but he, for the most part, he keeps his promises, and the stuff he releases blows my mind. All right, guys, that's all I got to say about that. Tesla full self-driving, it's hit or miss if you think it's worth it. I enjoy the features. I enjoy the new features that come along the way. I enjoy helping support Elon Musk, who I think make some great stuff and is going to change the world. So that's my thoughts on it. Have a great day. See you later. Bye.